Hello. Okay, there we go. Got all kinds of sunshine in here. We are going to do a folding focused class tonight. And we're going to focus on working on our pyramid pose and our forward folds and all that kind of stuff, which are poses that I feel like we do in every class, but we don't always make them the focus. So we're going to detail some of those poses. Let's go ahead and get started in child's pose with knees together, which is kind of its own fold. Walk your hands out in front of you and rest your forehead. And take a few moments to notice where you feel this posture the most. So you can spread your shoulder blades away from your head. See if you can rest your body incrementally into the mat a little bit more with each exhale. Please walk hands over to the right. Keep folding in and staying down. But work to walk your left hand further away. And then we'll come through center and take hands over to the left. And we'll walk the right hand out. And we'll come back through center and sit up. You can use your hands as you need to for support in this transition. We're going to bring the right leg out in front. And if it's uncomfortable for you to sit onto the top of your left foot, you can tuck your toes under, or you can sit kind of more towards the inside of the foot if that puts less pressure. Our goal is to see if we can find a place where we're capable of balancing without the support of the hands in this position. And we're just going to look forward, lean forward, and shift into a lunge. Keep leaning forward, see if you can rest your torso against your right thigh. And then shift back and sit back. And if you flex those right toes back, you'll get some nice length through the back of the right leg. Let's add in the arms and the breath to this movement. So we'll inhale and lunge forward and lean forward and reach the arms. And then exhale and sit back and flex the right foot, and let's reach arms back behind. Inhale and lunge. Exhale, shift back. And then from here, we'll fold forward over the right leg. Then we're going to sit up and just spiral your left knee open. You can catch the left elbow there to stretch into the inside of your left thigh. And you can stay here sitting down back towards your hips. Or if you want to lift up and maybe come up onto the left toes and use your hands for support, go for it. And then from here, we'll sit down again. If you were upright, you're going to rotate your left knee in. You're going to shift your weight over and bring your right leg in. And then send your left leg forward. So we're staying really close to the ground through these transitions. Let's inhale forward, lean into it, nice deep lunge, stretch with the arms, and then exhale, sit back, and reach the arms back. Inhale forward, exhale, shift back. Inhale forward, and exhale, shift back. And then we'll fold and we'll flex the left leg. And then we'll kind of sit off onto the left hip and rotate the right knee open and use the right elbow to accentuate the stretch. And if you want to power up to more of a Skandasana shape, go for it. And then we'll come down and rotate right knee in, and bring left leg in. We're going to revisit this sequence in a moment, but let's find down dog first. Plant your hands, tuck toes, hips up and back, add in some movement, explore the edges of the posture. And then we'll bring these down to the mat again. Come onto the top of your feet. Circle your right leg forward. Lunge forward. Inhale. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, shift back. Fold forward. Think about dragging back on the right heel slightly as you draw your upper body towards the right foot. And then we'll rotate the left knee open and maybe lift up. Maybe stay seated if that's working for you. And then we'll rotate the left knee in. We'll bring the right leg around and circle left leg forward. Let's inhale and lunge forward. Exhale, shift back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. And then we'll pause and fold here for a moment. And then we'll bring right knee up and open and lift. Use the right elbow. And then let's drop the right knee in again. Let's bring the left leg in as well. Reach your hands forward, tuck your toes under. Downward facing dog. Lift up onto your toes and bend your knees in your down dog until you feel your torso resting against your thighs. And then maintain that connection as you work to lift your tailbone towards the ceiling and drop your chest towards the floor. And then keeping your thighs as close to your belly as you can, walk your feet towards your hands. Step your feet wide. And walk your hands back between your feet. Turn your fingertips away from you. Spread your shoulder blades away from your spine. Drop the crown of your head towards the floor. unroll to stand. Let's step feet into hips width distance apart. Inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, move through a vinyasa. I'm going to close my window. I think this is a little loud. So once you've gone through your vinyasa, you're back in your downward facing dog. We're going to lift up onto the tippy toes again. We'll bend the knees and hug torso towards the thighs. And then from here, we're going to lift the tailbone towards the ceiling a little bit more so you can find more length through your hamstrings. And then we'll walk feet up to hands, but try to maintain that connection of thighs to belly as you walk forward. It's probably going to feel a little awkward unless you have super flexible hamstrings. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand tall, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, vinyasa. Do one more flow like that. Lift your heels, bend your knees, shift your torso back, hug your ribs towards your thighs towards your ribs. As you maintain that, try to lengthen tailbone towards ceiling, press into the floor with your hands. And then we'll just walk the feet forward while maintaining that connection within the fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, drop crown of head towards the floor. Inhale, stand tall, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, vinyasa. Once you've reached downward facing dog, let's go ahead and send the right leg up and open. We'll be flexing our hip flexors a lot in this class. Use this pose as an opportunity to open up that segment of the hip. And then hug your knee towards your nose, hug your thigh towards your belly, squeeze in, push the floor away with your hands, and step your right foot down in between your hands. Your thigh, your chest, your belly, your rib cage, they're all in contact. And we're going to maintain that as we reach the arms back in our lunge. Crown of head extends forward, tailbone back. Let's take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, check how much you can straighten your right leg without changing that contact between upper body and lower body. Let's inhale and lunge forward. And exhale, shift it back. Inhale, lunge forward. And exhale, shift back. Inhale, lunge and stand all the way up. Interlace your hands at your low back. Drop your fist towards the floor. Stand into a strong, stable lunge. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and straighten out the right leg and turn the left toes out to the side a little bit so that we're in our pyramid pose stance. And having our hands behind the back like this is going to help us stay honest about our spinal position. Let's just go ahead and hinge forward as far as we can from the hip exclusively, so we're not rounding the spine. Push into your right heel. Keep breathing. Pose is not easy, but there should be a sense of balance in it, a sense of focusing on what you can do and letting go of what you can't. And then we're going to bring hands down to the mat. Just pivot around to a wide-legged fold. And we'll walk hands back between the feet in this fold. Turn your fingertips away from you. Drop your head towards the floor. Take 3 more cycles of breath. See if you can draw yourself a little bit deeper into the fold. And then we'll walk hands forward. We'll pivot back towards the right foot. Set yourself up so that you can create contact once again between the right thigh and your belly. And maintain that as you shift forward into standing splits, which might look a little bit different based on our commitment to this really deep fold. And we're going to bring the left knee all the way down to the outside of the right ankle and sit back, and let's twist over to the right. And then twist over to the left. And then orient yourself back towards center. Your right foot is planted in front of you. See if you can stand up without the use of your hands really pushing into the right foot, and just come all the way up. Let's inhale and reach arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, vinyasa. And we'll take the left leg up and open. See if you can find a sense of ease and release in this posture. And then we'll bring left foot forward in between the hands. Strong legs, torso rests on the left thigh. Arms reach back. We're going to see how much we can straighten the left leg without changing the setup of the upper body in the upper left leg. Let's inhale and lunge forward. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, lunge forward. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, lunge forward. Hands will join at your low back. And you'll stand up into a lunge. And then we're going to straighten out the left leg and ground the right heel. Position of the arms keeps the spine long. Hinge forward, lean forward. Find your edge. You can tap into that sense of stability in the posture. Then we'll bring hands down, pivot to a wide-legged fold. This time we're going to wrap fingertips around the pinky toe edges of the feet and use this grip to pull ourselves further towards the floor. Then we'll release the feet and walk around towards the left foot. Get your thigh, your belly, and your rib cage together on the left side, and then maintain that as you walk it out to standing splits. Notice if this pose feels different on this side than it did on the first. And then we're going to come all the way down to a seated twist. So the right knee just tucks to the outside of the left ankle. We'll twist off to the left. And then we'll twist around to the right. And then we'll come back through center and we'll work on standing all the way up without the use of the hands. Push into the left foot, feet come to hips with distance apart. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant your hands. Step back to plank. Lower to a push-up. Inhale through. And exhale back. Inhale, right leg up and open. Exhale, right foot forward in between the hands. Inhale, reach the arms back. Exhale, straighten the right leg. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, stand up. Interlace the fingers. Press into your right heel. Lift the crown of your head towards the ceiling. And then exhale, pyramid pose stance. Lean forward, hinge forward, reach forward. Maybe you try lifting your fist away from your hips if that feels good. Then we're going to bring hands down to the mat. Pivot to a wide-legged fold. This round, peace fingers will hook around big toes. And you'll pull yourself from this grip into the posture. A little different feeling than when the hands are underneath the feet like they were last time. And we'll release back towards the right foot. Standing splits with a really deep fold. It's fine if your right knee is super bent, not a big deal. Maybe you want to play around with bringing your right hand to the back of your ankle. Maybe your left hand as well. And then we'll sit all the way down for our twist. Over to the right. Rotate your chin towards your right shoulder. And then over to the left. And look forward. Push into your right foot, stand tall. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, vinyasa. Inhale, left leg up and open. And exhale, step your foot forward in between your hands. Inhale, arms back. Exhale, left leg straightens. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, stand tall, interlace your hands. Drop your knuckles. And then exhale, pyramid pose stance, lean forward. Maybe hover hands away from the hips. And then hands come down to the floor, wide-legged fold. Our last wide-legged forward fold variation, we're going to interlace fingers and rest hands at the base of the skull. If you'd rather use this as an opportunity to invert, go for it. And then we'll release and we'll walk towards the left foot. And take standing splits, but be honest with yourself. Do what you need to in order to create a connection between the left thigh and the torso, even if that means this looks nothing like splits. And then we'll come on down into our seated twist. And we'll twist back towards the left. Chin to left to shoulder. And we'll twist towards the right. And then we'll rotate forward, push into your left foot. Shift your center of gravity over your left foot, stand up, inhale, arms reach overhead. And then exhale, we're gonna sit towards chair pose, reach your hands forward, and then keep sitting back. Bring your butt all the way down towards the floor. Bring your hands to the floor. Rock your feet overhead. It's okay if they don't touch the floor. If they do, that's great. And then we'll unroll the spine and we'll plant the feet. And we'll press back up into chair pose. We're only going to do that once at the beginning of the flow once we get into it, but let's try that one more time. Maybe you realize that you need to create more space for yourself around your mat. Maybe you need a little more cushioning. So we're back up into chair pose. We're going to shift weight into the right foot and bring the left ankle above the right knee. And then sit into a figure four chair. I like to put my elbows on my left thigh or my left knee and ankle, shin area. If you want to give that a go, see if you like that. Sink into your right heel, sit your butt back. And then see if you can keep your left leg where it is and straighten out your right leg and reach your hands towards the floor. And then we're going to land the left foot to the outside of the right foot and turn this into a fold variation as well. Drop your head towards the floor, shift the positioning of your legs so that your knees are comfortable. And then we're going to pick both hands and the left foot up off the floor at the same time. Step back with the left foot and cartwheel open into warrior two. Let's interlace hands at the low back. And then bring your fist up to hitch over your right hip. Drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Think about sinking hips towards the floor so you're deepening your lunge, and sinking shoulders away from your ears so you're deepening that stretch for the left side of the neck. And then we'll straighten out the left or the right leg and tip towards triangle pose. If this arm position isn't working for you, feel free to go with a more traditional setup. You could also just keep your left hand where it is and reach your right hand towards the floor. Maybe you drop your right ear towards your right shoulder as your left shoulder sinks away from your left ear. And then we're going to go ahead and shift to Skandasana with the left knee bent. So you're sitting into your yoga squat with the left side. Your right leg is extended out. And if you're not already there, you're going to sit back onto your butt. You'll bring your right hand to your left ankle, and then you'll reach your left arm up and over. And if you can grab your right foot, more power to you. If you can't, no biggie. What I like about this pose is we have all this stability provided by this little hold right here that lets us lean into a nice side body stretch. So if you're not feeling that, scoot your left foot further away from you, knock your left knee open a little bit, resist the pull of the right hand with the left leg, make the left leg really strong. And then you can get our super deep side bend, inside fold, and all this good stuff. Let's go ahead and sit up. Propel yourself forward so your butt can lift off of the mat. And then we're going to push back through into warrior two again. And you can stay here in warrior two, or if you're feeling like a more advanced posture, you can take a moment to work your way out into half moon pose. You'll heel toe your left foot in, reach your right hand out to the mat, and then try to pivot your left hip to stack over your right. No big deal if your right knee is bent. And then from either posture, from half moon or warrior two, let's transition to a vinyasa. Step or hop your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand tall, reach up. And exhale, chair pose. And then we'll just keep sinking towards the mat till we come all the way down. Arms for support, feet propel overhead. And then you'll power back into your chair pose. Let's flex the right ankle and bring it above the left knee. And sit back. Steady grounding breaths. foot to the outside of the left foot and drop into a fold with the legs crossed. And then we'll pick up the right foot and the hands at the same time. Step back with the right foot, find warrior two with the left leg forward. We'll interlace hands and hook fist over left hip. Drop left ear to left shoulder. Hips drop towards the floor, shoulders drop towards the floor. And then we'll straighten out the left leg and ease towards some variation of triangle pose. Maybe with the left ear continuing to hang towards the left shoulder. And then we'll unwind and we'll make our way back into Skandasana with the right knee bent. And then you're going to sit all the way back into the pose. You'll bring your left hand to your right ankle. And then you'll reach your right arm over. Maybe you take a hold of the left foot. This side's a little less cooperative for me. Maybe you catch the big toe. And then we'll lift up, we'll power into Skandasana, and then press through to warrior two. And you can hold here for about 10 breaths, or you can work your way out towards half moon. Move from either posture, find plank, and find a vinyasa. From downward facing dog, let's bring knees down to the mat and just rest into child's pose for a moment. And then we'll lift up to down dog. We're going to move through that flow again, and then we'll do a proper cool down. Step or hop feet to hands. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand tall, reach up. Exhale, chair pose. You could stay here if this pose transition isn't for you. Otherwise, you can sit back and rock back. And then back up into chair pose. Weight shifts into the right foot and we'll bring the left ankle over. Sit back to this big hip stretch. And then left foot lands to outside of right foot and we fold forward. Pick up your left foot and your hands all at once. Send your left foot way back and then unfurl towards warrior two. Let's interlace hands at low back. Hook fist over right shoulder. Drop right ear to right shoulder. Left shoulder sinks towards the floor. And then we'll straighten out the right leg and drop the right hand towards the floor. And then we'll shift to Skandasana towards the back of the mat. Left knee bends, hips sit back. Right hand to left ankle. Left arm reaches way over. Maybe taking a hold of the right foot or the right toe makes sense. And then we'll release, we'll shift forward, hips pick up, press to warrior two, reach the arms, stay for 5 breaths or another opportunity to work on half moon, which is kind of a sort of fold. It's a side fold. If you want to play around with taking a hold of the left foot in the left hand, go for it. And let's release to a vinyasa. Step or hop your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand tall, reach up. Exhale, chair pose. Sink towards the floor. Gather momentum, rock your feet overhead. And then power back up into your Utkatasana. Let's shift weight to the left foot and bring the right leg up. And sink hips back. And then we'll land right foot to outside of left and fold. And we'll lift right foot and both hands at the same time. Step your right foot back. Find your warrior two. Interlace your hands. Hook above left hip. Drop left ear to left shoulder. And then we'll straighten out the left leg and take triangle pose with a bind. And maybe with that release of the head towards the floor for some additional work for the neck. And then we'll shift towards Skandasana. Bend your right knee, sit your hips back. And then sit to the floor, left hand to right ankle. Right arm stretches over. Tweak the details of the posture until this feels good for you, until it feels useful. And then we'll go ahead and lift back into Skandasana, back into Warrior Two. You can stay here or work into Ardha Chandrasana. Make your way to Chaturanga. And back to Down Dog. And then we'll bring these down to the mat for Child's Pose for 5 breaths. Let's sit up and swing legs forward. Scoot yourself side to side till you feel really stable. And then walk into a forward fold. We're going to hold this posture for a minute. So make sure that you set up a pose that feels sustainable for that duration of time. If you have any props handy that you want to incorporate, go for it. Carefully, slowly sit up. And we're going to transition to a seated wide-legged fold. So you can line yourself up with the length of your mat. If that's more comfortable. And we'll fold forward from here and we'll hold this for a minute as well. Let's go ahead and sit up. Make your way around onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest once you get there. Take a rock side to side. And then we'll drop legs all the way over to the right and set up a spinal twist. Arms either out to a T or out to a goalpost shape. Chin maybe rolls off towards left shoulder. We're going to hold this for a minute as well. It's the roll through center. And we'll switch sides, knees over to the left. Chin towards the right shoulder. Let's take it back through center. Find happy baby pose. And then you can set up Shavasana however you like. If you want to put on socks and a sweater, If you want to lie on your stomach or child's pose or take legs up the wall, make this comfortable and cozy and nourishing. Use Shavasana as an opportunity to make space for whatever arises. That includes boredom or frustration or dis-ease. Try to just let it be what it is. Hug your knees to your chest. Rock along your spine 3 times. Come up to a cross-legged seat. Rest your hands on your knees, settle your shoulders away from your ears. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose. And an open mouth exhale. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Thank you so much for practicing with me tonight. Thank you for making time to move and to take care of yourself. Hope that you liked kind of a foldy class. I thought that felt really good. If you have any requests for future classes, let me know. Ooh, glad you could practice, Denise. Hope you're doing well. Oh, did I mess it up? Okay. Yeah, have a great night. Wish I could give you all a hug in person.